Hi, my name is Grace Provost, otherwise known as Galaxy Grace here at Akaku TV, channel 54 and 52 and 53. And today we're going to talk about the importance of 2012. Since we're right smack dab in the middle of it, I have a lot of friends who are concerned. What's going on? You hear all these different theories and different stories. So I thought I'd share a little bit of what I've been learned and have been reading about. I actually found an excellent book. It's called Year Zero. It's written by Kiara Windrider, if you can see that. And because she talks about the Mayans and the Mayan calendar and how important it is, there's different cycles. You know, everybody's talking about December 21st, 2012, oh, it's the end of the world. You see that Hollywood movie with everything's cataclysmic events. Not going to happen, sorry. Not that we're not going to have some cataclysmic events, but what it is to the Mayan calendar and the Mayans, they don't use the Gregorian calendar like we do. They call it the Year Zero, which is what the book's about. And it talks about the events that we're right in right now. So things are happening. We want to know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. June's coming up. We're in the middle of 2012. And so I want to share a little bit about that with you today. And we want to talk about a butterfly and how we're going to use the example of a butterfly with the crop circle. If you could bring that picture up for me, please. And how the butterfly is happily munching along. If we're like the butterfly and we're like the little caterpillars on the earth, we're happily munching along, eating all our leaves, when all of a sudden they call them the imaginal cells for the caterpillar. It's kind of like our DNA. And so if you can imagine these imaginal cells, and all of a sudden they start growing and expanding, and he's going, no, stop that. He's in fear. He's like, I don't want that to happen. But he can't stop it. And it's like our DNA expanding and changing. We can't stop that either. And so, but it's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing, because soon enough, it's like, imagine your Thanksgiving dinner and how you eat. It's wonderful and it's tasty and you're just pigging out. And so you fill yourself till you're totally full. And then all of a sudden, oh, I'm so sleepy, I gotta go take a nap. Well, that's what the caterpillar's doing. The caterpillar, he has just been feasting all these leaves and yummy, and all of a sudden these imaginal cells keep growing. He says, oh, time for change. So he builds himself a little cocoon, a little chrysalis. And right now in our time frame of all our human lives since the beginning of our time, we're right at that stage now where we're starting to build our chrysalis. We're going to go to sleep, and we're going to start changing our DNA. And one day, during what they call the polar shifts, or the shifts, great shifts that are coming, and everybody's heard of December 21st, 2012, which is a date, which is the end of the Mayan calendar of 5,125 years. But the next day is just the beginning of a next set of calendars. It's not total destruction of the earth. We're not all going to die. Sorry, not going to happen. What we do is we're going to break forth out of our caterpillar, out of that chrysalis, and become the human butterfly like you see in this crop circle. And that's what this crop circle is telling us. It's telling us it's time for us to change into a beautiful, more peaceful state. Every single Native American shaman or groups or secret societies all talk about this golden age that's coming. We're right in it. We're living it right now. So you're going, what can we do? And how does all these things tie in together? People wondering, what's the big deal about the Egyptian pyramids? We have the Egyptian little pyramids. We have pyramids all over the world, in fact, and even on other worlds. They've seen pyramids on Mars, for example. These pyramids are all built by extraterrestrial entities long ago to help us in this time frame. This is like Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody's here from other worlds watching us go through this wonderful experiment. We have had shifts before in previous cycles, but this shift is different. We're actually taking our physical bodies with us, changing our DNA, and becoming that wonderful butterfly. And it happens with, well, I'm going to show you this pretty picture. It's a heartbeat. of the great galactic sun. This is like the universe. If you can picture, that has a little picture of the universe down here. Here we are on the outer rims of the Milky Way galaxy. And this is a great galactic sun. And it actually has an in-breath and an out-breath, what they call a heartbeat. And every time it beats, it sends out this wonderful energy waves, which wash over through the universe, through the galaxy, through our solar system, and over Earth. And as it does, it changes our DNA and helps alter, helps bring about this change in us. And we're going through that period right now, and that's the whole thing with the end of the cycles. The end of the cycle is like we have like the caterpillar munching on the leaves for years and years and years, hundreds and thousands of years, while we go through the incarnations and all our different lifetimes and stuff, till we hit, even the scientists have proven this, we hit a certain period of time where it's also a quantum leap into the golden age, into this. And that's what we're going. We're going through the shift of the ages, this transformation of changing our DNA and getting into this golden era. And what happens with that is we become a more peaceful society. We end all disease. We end war. We're beginning to awaken and learn. We're coming out of that chrysalis and awakening and learning that we're all tied together. We're all part of God. We're all God thoughts. We had in a previous session, we talked about our thoughts and our consciousness and how important that is. And our thoughts are very positive, are powerful. And thoughts lead to consciousness. And this consciousness leads to our creating our reality. It leads to geometric form, which is, again, the pyramids and different geometric forms, pyramids are very powerful. They emit energy. They are holding time for our Earth, and all that's coming to an end. This is why we're having this period of kind of chaos, because those little chrysalis cells are changing and altering in the way we think. We're raising the consciousness and frequency of Earth. A lot of everything that's going on and tied together it's kind of like if you picture the force maybe with you. What you picture as God, the creator of all things, he creates through electromagnetic energy. We're energy beings, we're spirit beings. And so this is all in our little DNA cells. You can actually measure how much energy each little cell has, which is like 1.17 hertz, whatever. We also have to think of positive and negative, duality. We're living in a duality situation. So they've actually called this the map. You can't see it, but I'll read it off to you. It's called the map of the scale of consciousness. And Dr. David Hawkins talks about this. He actually applied kinesiology, or frequency, from 0 to 100. And when we hit 200, it's when we actually change to the positive. And so, like, for example, if you're vindictive and evil, the energy that you put out is 30 hertz. If you're disdainful, you're grieving, it's 75 hertz. If you're in denial of things, it's like 100 hertz. If you finally get the courage up to change your life and make your life better, it's 200 hertz. And that's when he kind of reckons when we change from the negative to the positive, we also create. What goes around comes around. And so we're trying to raise the frequency of Earth with our thoughts by love. Because when we get up to 500, which is the hertz of love, pure love, one person with a heart of pure love can affect 250,000 other people. It radiates out, like if you throw a stone into a puddle. It radiates out and we touch other lives. And it's like a 100-monkey effect. One monkey learns to love, and then soon the whole troop learns to love. And that's kind of what's going on in the world right now. We're doing that 100-monkey effect. Our DNA's changing. We're waking up. We're tired of all the baloney that's going on in the world. We're tired of war. We're tired of having lack of money, of not having sufficient things for our needs. So we're waking up and we're demanding and we're creating this new reality that we want. We want unification. We want to love. We want to have abundance and prosperity. We want to have joy. We don't want to send our sons and daughters off to war. So we're changing our frequency, and this has all been prophesied for thousands of years to happen. And it not only is us here on Earth changing, everything on Earth is changing. The whole frequency of Earth is raising as well. It used to be 7.8 hertz. Now it's raising up to 13 hertz. And we're changing our DNA to match Mother Earth. We're raising up and going through what they term the ascension. And that's what it is. The ascension is just a difference in frequency. And we're learning to get away from the negativity and up into that love vibration. It even goes higher. It goes up to like 600, 700, which is what they call the Christ consciousness. And that's what our goal is. We're trying to reach up and change ourselves to create this Christ consciousness on earth so that we can do all the things we used to do long ago before Atlantis fell. We used to be telepathic. We used to love and be at one with all around us, with the earth itself. She's a living being. She has her own consciousness, and we're trying to get back to that area where we're at right now. We want to become one with earth, be able to talk to the trees, be able to be at peace with the animals. There'll be no more poisonous serpents, no more poisonous insects. We'll be all at one with earth. Anything that's of the lower frequency right now is starting to fade away and to be dissolved and changed, including our money institutions. We're getting rid of the despots and rulers that have been like North Korea. We're changing our governments. We're changing the way we do things with one another. All this is changing. We're getting into that higher frequency of love, of golden love. And so we're working on changing our consciousness right now. And that's why we have so many people what they term waking up. Some of us are starting to break out of that chrysalis already. And we've gone through the process already. And so we're trying to share this with others so we can help them wake up, help them go through the process. And that's why you get many people who are getting their psychic gifts. It's not evil. I'm sorry. It's not all that. We're waking up to our potential as Christ consciousness. Christ was able to do that. He was able to walk on water. He could, the fishes and loaves. We're all gaining that Christ consciousness. We'll be telepathic. There'll be no more lies because we'll be able to read each other's minds and hearts and intents. We're waking up to all of these wonderful gifts. There's many healers that are coming out now with new technology to heal us from our traumas and things without having to do painful surgeries. We're coming out with, there's a gentleman named Dr. James Hart in Canada right now, and he's actually built a computer that can read all your energy patterns. And as he puts you through past life regressions and hypnosis, and he helps you to release all those fears and traumas from childhood and from previous lives, he actually see your body heal instantaneously. And they're now going to be using it on a lot of our soldiers that are coming back from war with traumas, or with people who are in prison who have had childhood traumas, and that's why they're in prison, because they can't cope with these things. So this kind of new technology is reaching out to us and being released at this time. We're learning more about crystals and colors and how those heal us, and how our consciousness is connected to all of that, these energy patterns. So it's awesome. That's why we're kind of going through all this chaos right now. We're in that chrysalis stage, so you can know what that's all about. It's also kind of like a video game. This is kind of like an experimental video game where it's never been done before. The higher spiritual hierarchies of the universe have all agreed to this long ago and said, we're going to try this, where we're going to try to ascend people with their human bodies and take them through different steps up. And so they can change from this frequency to that frequency. So we're going from a third dimensional frequency, which is quite a lower frequency, up through the fourth and into the fifth dimension, where we'll gain our higher spiritual bodies. Right now we're kind of more mass, but we're still spirit inside, whether it's going to reverse itself, where we're going to be able to shrink our mass and expand our spirituality and have golden light bodies. We're going to unite with our higher selves, which are more spiritual, more loving, more kind. Just like the angelic realms. All these beings are here to help us. So many people see the angels and work with the angelic beings. Some work with the extraterrestrials. We have 300,000 species of extraterrestrials that are all benevolent, except for a few that have now been booted off the planet, are here to help us get through these stages, give us knowledge. We're going to be heading towards disclosure soon, where they'll able to land their ships and come out and meet and talk with the people. They're here to help us and love us. We have what they term the ascended masters, those beings who have, through their own meditations and different techniques over the years, have ascended already to their Christ consciousness. They already have their light bodies. They're here and can appear to us in many different ways to help us and guide us through this process. We're getting all this help. We're not alone. We're going to be able to get through this. They talk about over the years, with the different timelines. Well, it's just like the different calendars of the Mayan calendar. I'll show a picture of the Aztec calendar. It's a beautiful picture. It talks about, in here, it talks about the different civilizations prior to us and what happened, how they were destroyed, some through ice, some through fire. But this one, we've already reached and raised our frequency high enough, because we have a lot of beings here helping us, that we're now on the best scenario timeline. We've already passed, the one with 2012, we're all destroyed, blah, blah, blah. That's long gone, and that's not going to happen. We've already also surpassed another one where there's 2 timelines, where there's a new Earth, after it goes through the cataclysm events, a new 3D Earth, and a 5th dimension Earth. We're pretty much already past that one as well. Now we're on the more positive timeline where most of everyone on Earth is going to be ascending. We're all raised our frequency high enough that we can pass into the next dimension with ease and grace. It's like, smile, be happy, no worry. We're going to make it. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. We have many people who have actually seen dreams and visions of these things happening. It's going to be amazing. We'll talk about the year 0. Let's see, we've talked about our journey. The video game, it's kind of like they said, we're playing this video game, and this is an experimental video game, and then all of a sudden when, towards 2012, December 21st, it's like you've won the game. You've fulfilled all the things, you've got all the points, and we hit a reset button. And when we hit that reset button, it's kind of like they talk about the 30 hours or 3 days of darkness, where we just kind of all go to sleep and have a nice long nap, kind of like go into hibernation, or in that actual time of chrysalis. That's when our DNA totally changes. We'll be sleeping. We won't be really aware of what's going on, just like the little caterpillar changing to a butterfly. And when we break out of that, after the 3 days of darkness, we wake up and we're the butterfly. But it takes a while for us to figure out how to use those wings. We have to unfold the wings. We have to dry them out so they're pretty and wing them like the butterfly does. He dries them out with the wind. And then we can learn to fly. Well, we have all our memories of all our past lives, all the gifts and knowledge we had in the past. We're remembering the game plan. Oh, I remember now. We do this, we do that. But we also have mentors to help us. The angels and the ascended masters and extraterrestrials will all be here mentoring us through this wonderful experience. And one more thing I want to talk about is the fact that what we're going through has never done before. They have a thing called the Akashic Record Library. Everything that's ever been